Hello, my name is Anna and I work in marketing at Myriad Editions. I am standing in for Corinne Perlman today, who many of you know, I'm sure, or who will have met at various Ladies Do Comics things before. We call her the grande dame of comics and graphic novels, but she doesn't like that very much, but I can do it because she's not here. So we are Myriad and we publish many graphic novels. We have published many graphic novels, including documentary comics, graphic reportage, fiction, memoir, life writing, and graphic medicine. These are some books from our list. So Rumble Strip was one of the first graphic novels that we published. It's an impassioned graphic novel which questions our love affair for cars. 1,000 Coloured Castles by Gareth Brooks, which is told which follows two elderly people in the suburbs, as one of them is whose eyesight is declining and having Charles Bonnet kind of hallucinogenic symptoms. And that is a whole graphic novel which was basically were done in crayon, which is incredible. Things to Do in a Retirement Home Trailer Park by Nye Wright takes a look at palliative care from the perspective of a 29-year-old rhino who looks after his dad in his retirement home trailer park, believe it or not. Escaping Wars and Waves is graphic reportage of a really, really high standard and covers the refugee crisis. So it's all the text in this book is based on real interviews that Kugler has done over his work doing as a doctor on the front line of Doctors Without Borders, and that's won awards. It's absolutely amazing. So we've got the Bad Doctor and the Lady Doctor, which take extraordinary looks at kind of very ordinary things, basically. Based in rural Wales, the first book follows a doctor with quite severe obsessive compulsive disorder, and the Lady Doctor is a really great confronting look actually at addiction and alcoholism especially, and it's very humane. And it also both of them kind of really highlight the mental health issues that many doctors have to face, but also many people have to face. And they're also very funny looks at what it's like to be a GP in a small town with what you would call regular people that come in. Daryl Cunningham's books you may well know. We've published a few of Daryl's books: Science Tales, Super Crash, Graphic Science, and most recently Billionaires, which is a graphic look at the super rich and covers the Koch brothers, Rupert Murdoch and Jeff Bezos, and it's absolutely fascinating and really, really relevant for our time. Sensible Footwear by Kate Charlesworth is an LGBTQIA+ history of sexuality and the gay movement, and is really amazing. It also has some memoir in it and covers Kate through her life from the 1950s till now, and it's absolutely beautiful. Lots of badges in it and very brightly coloured. I highly recommend that. Will lift you up during these strange times. Kate Evans is a cartoonist and health worker extraordinaire. Her books, The Food of Love and Bump, are two of our best-selling books. The Food of Love is about breastfeeding, Bump is about pregnancy, believe it or not. Una's Becoming Unbecoming has been translated into many languages and follows a young girl who is sexually abused up north against the backdrop of the Yorkshire Ripper murders. It's very, very powerful storytelling. So the Book of Sarah was not included in the Bible, so Sarah Lightman thought she would write it. And this is an amazingly shown memoir by Lightman, who many of you will also know as a former Ladies Do Comic host, and it's a feminist look at Judaism, motherhood and family history. And Billy, Me and You by Nicola Streeton, who all of you I'm sure know who is a moving and humorous at times and really poignant memoir of about the death of Streeton's son at the age of 2 and the reactions that people had around it. It's very, very moving and important, and is one of the first books of its kind, especially by a woman. So, where do we find our books? So the first 6 approaches here are the most important to us. In each of these, there's personal communication, whether online or in person. We work closely with bloggers and reviewers and take their recommendations seriously. But it's the personal approach from the artist that matters the most to us. So no agent has sold a graphic book to Myriad without the author approaching us first. And in some cases, the authors have used our offer to publish as an opportunity to get an agent and go elsewhere. So it's really important to keep exhibiting, selling, showing, posting, talking, and keeping us informed of what you're doing. So going to talk a little bit about Myriad's first graphic novel competition. It's a vital mechanism for Myriad to encounter new cartoonists. Entries for our fourth competition closed a month ago. The judges had set aside the 18th of March to meet together in London and go through all the entries to select a long list. Even though this was pre-lockdown, we had to cancel a couple of days before because some of the judges were self-isolating. It would have been ill-advised to travel to London. One of the judges, formerly mentioned Ian Williams, is a cartoonist and part-time GP and has had to put his scrubs on again. Zoe Adenoja is organising meal services for sick and vulnerable. She is amazing and was featured in a massive anthology that we published recently called New Daughters of Africa, edited by Margaret Busby. We are in the process of asking the 100 plus entrants to resubmit their entries digitally so we can read online and meet together virtually. Of course, this might actually apply to some of you who are watching/listening to this. And, you know, we're sorry it's not ideal, but it does mean that all your work will still be read and judged and taken very seriously. We had a record number this year of entries and it just keeps growing every year. So what are we looking for at Myriad? We are looking for really, really great storytelling, interesting concepts, good writing, excellent structure, great drawing, humour, and stories that are bigger than your own. So every non-fiction project that we publish, and often actually fiction that we publish at Myriad, it has to be more than just what it is, you know. It has to be a story that offers new ways of seeing. New ways of seeing is our motto at Myriad, and it has to be more than just a book about something. You know, it has to be telling us more and giving us a new perspective and a new way to see something. These are the winners of our graphic novel competition. So the aim of the competition is to select a winner and work with them towards publication. We're very much collaborative at Myriad. An extract from The Black Project was the winner of the first competition, a marvellously bleak and funny graphic novel that is probably just as good description of his second, yes. 1,000 Colour Castles, which was published in 2017 that I mentioned earlier. Graphic literary fiction at its very best and perfect fit for Myriad's prose fiction. Jade Sarson's glorious romp through the meaning of love, For the Love of God Marie, was published in 2016 and it has just come out in France as well. And we're looking forward to publishing Jenny Robbins's Biscuits Assorted, a vivid group portrait of London's women, in January next year. This is the shortlist from the 2008 competition. Beyond the winner, Jenny Robbins's Biscuits, we've since gone on to contract 2 of the other shortlisted artists, Zara Slattery's Coma, which will publish in 2021, Coma Comic, and Saba Khan's Pluralism, which we publish in June 2021, provisionally as The Roles We Play. We're still working on the title for that one. All the extracts that we received were fabulous, as well as the long-listed authors, of which there are about 20. There's a really good chance that when you enter the competition, that your work still might be selected for publication if we think it is really, really strong and we cannot get it off our minds. So these are a few shortlisted authors we have published since we started. Hannah Eaton, Paula Knight and Ian Williams were all shortlisted in 2012 and Henny Beaumont in 2014. Ian Williams was introduced to us at Ladies Do Comic in Brick Lane many moons ago, and he is now well known as the co-founder of Graphic Medicine and one of our 2020 judges, as we mentioned. And we are going to publish his third book, The Sick Doctor, in 2022. Blackwood by Hannah Eaton is our next graphic book to be published. It's a thumping great novel, Wicker Man meets Middlemarch, in September 2020, virus delays permitting, obviously, because nothing is certain anymore. So outside of the competition, how you can submit to Myriad is send us a one-page synopsis describing the story and the characters, a sample PDF but no longer than 10 megabytes please, and a link to the complete work, probably in Dropbox or another file sharing solution. What we really want to know is why Myriad is the publisher for you. We also would love to know about any details of previous publications, including online and in literary or other magazines, details of any competition successes, and at least 2 comparable titles that have been published in the last 5 years that are similar in style, subject matter, and or readership. So there's no point sending us a book and saying there has never been anything like this graphic novel or this graphic memoir before, because there likely has been something that will at least appeal to the similar readership. So really think about that, because, you know, writing the book and having the book in front of you is one thing, but really getting it out there to readership and selling copies, which is ultimately what it comes down to, needs to really be at the forefront of your mind. And it's probably worth saying now that, you know, the more active and the more understanding you are of social media and promoting yourself, the more success you will have with your book. And, you know, to be engaged. And another thing we do at Myriad is we work really closely to show authors and help authors to promote themselves in the best ways possible. We also work with amazing PR called Emma Dowson, and Emma really helps get your book in front of the right people in the comics industry. So the story of Corinne meeting Majid, which is an interesting story about how this book was commissioned, and a little bit off the cuff and something that we haven't mentioned yet, was in November 2016 after she bumped into a Brighton artist, Tony Gamage, who said, "I've got someone you must meet. He wants to do a graphic novel about a refugee arriving in the UK during Shakespeare's 400th anniversary." So 4 years later, we're delighted to be working with Majid and the Good Chance Theatre Company, who befriended Majid in the Calais jungle and have championed him ever since. We are working on a structural edit with Majid's friend, storyteller Glenys Newton, and here is a page in progress from Hamid and Shakespeare. When Shakespeare accompanies Hamid to the Home Office, we'll be publishing Hamid and Shakespeare on Shakespeare's birthday, which is April 21st, 2021. So finally, who knows what this dreaded virus will bring, but one of many good things that we've all witnessed is the explosion of creativity. In our field, so many comic artists and cartoonists record their experiences, doing daily diaries, drawings, posting them online and sharing. The comics community is a wondrous thing, and we are so proud to belong to it. So thank you to ladies, and thank you to our fellow publishers, and thank you to everyone who has tuned in. And I would like to say thank you to Corinne for putting together this lovely presentation, and I would really like to encourage you, if you are interested in submitting your work to Myriad, the best thing you can do is really familiarise yourself with our list. As far as it goes, we are still sending books out from the warehouse. That might well change, but at least for the next few weeks or few days, we know that we are. So if you'd like to buy any of our graphic novels, you can do so using a 25% discount on all of our titles with free UK shipping via our website, and that is using the code MyReadAtHome, like Myriad at home, but MyReadAtHome, MyReadAtHome. I'm really looking forward to answering some of your questions, and really do let us know what you think of our books. If you've read a Myriad book in the past, send us a picture of it. Let us know what you think. On Facebook, we're Myriad Editions Publishers. Twitter, we're Myriad_Editions, and we're at Myriad Editions on Twitter and Myriad_Editions on Instagram. Please follow us and help support Myriad carry on doing what we're doing, because we love publishing your graphic novels, we love bringing them to new audiences, and we love talking about them. So thank you again, ladies, for having us.